What if there's a hidden planet out there, orbiting our sun in secret, with a mysterious history stretching back to ancient Sumer, a world that's gone unseen by modern science, but whose presence is known through cryptic texts and long-lost myths, a place where powerful beings once mined for resources and even created humankind as their slave race. And what if this world is hurtling toward Earth once again, bringing with it the promise of both great awakening and terrible catastrophe? This is the incredible tale of Nibiru, the hidden planet, fully explained. Starting in the 1970s and 80s, a man named Zecharia Sitchin popularized the idea of a mysterious hidden planet orbiting the sun and occasionally visiting our solar system. He claimed to have decoded ancient Sumerian texts which revealed the existence of this world, its people, and their connection to humanity. So what exactly is Nibiru? According to Sitchin, the name Nibiru comes from the ancient Sumerian language and means either crossing or point of transition. However, he believed that it also referred to a real physical planet, the 12th known to the Sumerians, which lay hidden beyond the outermost planet known to us, Neptune. Sitchin argued that this planet had an elongated orbit that brought it close to the inner solar system every 3,600 years, passing between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter and coming as close as Earth's orbit every 26,000 years. Now, obviously, this goes against everything that modern astronomy teaches us about our solar system. We know for a fact that all planets orbit the sun in relatively the same plane and at roughly the same speed. If there were a planet out there with such an elongated orbit, we would have noticed long ago. Astronomers constantly scan the skies for new objects, and there is zero evidence that any planet is about to enter our solar system. But Sitchin was undeterred by this inconvenient fact. He claimed that during these visits, the planet's inhabitants, known as the Anunnaki, would come to Earth and mine for gold, which they used to purify the atmosphere of their dying planet. It was during one of these visits, according to Sitchin's interpretation of the Sumerian texts, that the Anunnaki engineered the first human beings to serve as workers in their mines. They took the DNA from existing life forms like bacteria, plants, animals, and even human apes, and spliced them together into the first true human, Homo sapiens. The Anunnaki then set up shop in the Persian Gulf and began to control early human civilization through a chosen few, including the kings of Sumer. So what does the Bible have to say about this hidden planet and its people? Well, nothing directly, but modern conspiracy theorists claim that many of the world's ancient myths and legends refer to Nibiru and its inhabitants. The various flood myths found in cultures around the world are often interpreted as referring to one of Nibiru's passages by Earth. Likewise, the story of gods descending from the sky in a chariot or boat, bringing both wisdom and civilization to mankind, is sometimes seen as an allegory for the Anunnaki coming to Earth from Nibiru. If Nibiru is real and its orbit indeed brings it close to Earth every so often, why don't we remember these events in our own history? Well, according to modern conspiracy theories, there are two possible explanations. Either the Anunnaki actively suppress memories of Nibiru and their own existence through some sort of advanced technology, or they simply chose to let humans believe whatever they wanted. In Turkey's result was that, over time, knowledge of Nibiru and its people faded away until only myths and legends remained. However, conspiracy theorists claim that recently, more and more people have been awakening to the truth about Nibiru and its inhabitants. Why now? Well, because according to modern doomsday prophecies, Nibiru is due to pass the Earth once again very soon, possibly as early as 2021 or 2027. It will bring with it a great awakening for humanity and usher in a new age of enlightenment. Or alternatively, it could cause massive earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, tidal waves, hurricanes, and other disasters that will wipe out most of humanity before it passes beyond our solar system once again. But if Nibiru really is on a collision course with Earth, why haven't astronomers noticed it yet? Well, the answer is simple. According to mainstream science, there is no planet out there that fits Nibiru's description, nor is there any evidence that one is on its way to visit our solar system. Astronomers can predict the path of any object in the solar system fairly accurately by observing its position relative to the stars. Even Pluto, which was demoted to dwarf planet status, has a well-understood orbit around the sun, If there were a planet out there twice the size of Earth with an elongated orbit that extended as far out as Neptune and then dipped dangerously close to the inner solar system, we would have noticed it long ago. But what about the Sumerian texts that Sitchin claimed to have decoded? How did the ancients know about a planet that modern science can't detect? Well, it's important to remember that there are no actual physical artifacts left behind from ancient Sumer. The only surviving writings come from thousands of years later, when the empire had fallen and much of the world it knew had been lost to time. What little we know of Sumerian culture, religion, and history comes from later accounts written in Akkadian, Assyrian, and Babylonian languages. As for the Sumerian texts that do survive, they contain nothing about a hidden planet or alien overlords. In fact, when we look at the original Sumerian words, but Sitchin translated as planet and Anunnaki, we find that they actually mean something entirely different. The word that Sitchin believed referred to a celestial body is actually a type of demon or evil spirit. And the Anunnaki were actually a group of minor deities associated with constellations and astrology. Sumerian cosmology was extremely complex and closely tied to their understanding of the natural world. The Sumerians saw the universe as being composed of three parts: the heavens, the underworld, and the earth. The heavens were ruled by the gods and were said to be in constant motion, which caused the stars and planets to move across the sky. The Sumerians observed these movements carefully and developed an intricate system of astrology based on their positions relative to each other. They associated certain constellations with different gods and believed that the movements of these gods across the sky influenced the fortunes of mortals. In this system, the Anunnaki played a significant role. They were a group of minor deities who are said to live in the underworld and control the fate of individual human souls. The Sumerians believed that when a person died, their soul would travel to the underworld, where the Anunnaki would decide whether they would be allowed to enter the afterlife or be condemned to wander. The earth as a restless spirit. Another important aspect of Sumerian cosmology was their belief in a great flood that had occurred in the past and would occur again in the future. According to their myths, the gods sent a great flood to punish mankind for their wickedness. But a hero named Utnapishtim was warned of the impending disaster and built a boat to save himself, his family, and two of each animal. The Sumerians believed that this flood was caused by a cosmic battle between the gods, specifically between the Anunnaki and a group of demons known as the Agigi. The Anunnaki were said to be the victors in this battle, but it was a close call and they suffered heavy losses. It is possible that stories like this inspired Sitchin's belief in a hidden planet that periodically entered the solar system and interacted with the gods and humans. After all, the Sumerians were some of the earliest known civilizations to have developed a written language and kept detailed records of their observations of the natural world. They had an advanced understanding of mathematics and astronomy for their time, and were able to make accurate predictions about eclipses and the paths of planets. If they truly believed that there was a planet out there that came so close to Earth every few thousand years, then it stands to reason that they would have recorded it in their texts. However, as we've already seen, there is no evidence that any such planet exists or ever has existed. There are no records of it in ancient texts, no artifacts or archaeological evidence to support its existence, and there is no observational support from astronomers who have scanned the skies for signs of such a world. So what could have inspired Sitchin and those who came after him to believe in a hidden planet? One possibility is that he was genuinely trying to uncover ancient wisdom that had been lost to time. Sitchin was a self-taught scholar who dedicated his life to studying ancient languages and cultures. He believed that the Sumerians were more advanced than we give them credit for, and that they had knowledge of the universe that we have yet to rediscover. In his mind, this knowledge was encoded in their myths and legends, and it was his job to decode it and share it with the world. Another possibility is that Sitchin was a fraud who deliberately fabricated his claims about ancient aliens and a hidden planet. There is no evidence that he ever studied Sumerian texts in the first place, or that he had any expertise in ancient languages or cultures. His claims are completely unfounded, and there is no reputable scholarship to back them up, regardless of his intentions. Though, it's clear that Sitchin tapped into something that people have always been fascinated by: the idea of a hidden world that lies just beyond our perception. A world that holds the key to ancient mysteries and forgotten knowledge. This fascination is evident in modern doomsday prophecies about Nibiru. People want to believe that there is something out there that controls our destiny. Something that will bring about the end of days and usher in a new era of enlightenment. They want to believe that there are powerful beings that watch over us from afar, waiting for the right moment to reveal themselves and share their wisdom with humanity. The problem is that there is no evidence that any of this is true. The Sumerians were not visited by aliens. There is no planet hidden beyond Neptune's orbit, and there is no great flood that is about to engulf the world. Despite that, these people continue to be fascinated by the idea of Nibiru and its inhabitants, and it will probably continue to capture the human imagination for many years to come. So what do you think? Is Nibiru real? Do you believe that the Sumerians were visited by aliens from another world? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching.